Hello everyone, welcome to chemistry class. In today's class we will have a revision of the chapter number 1, matter and its composition. This chapter will be covered in the first unit test. So we will have a look at the most important points and the facts from this chapter. So the chapter is about matter. So what is matter? First of all, the definition you should be knowing. Matter is anything that occupies space and has mass. Whatever substance or object needs a space in the surroundings and it is having some own mass, that is called as matter. These are the two aspects related to matter. It can be anything. Matter can be anything. For example, the food that we are eating, the water, the air that is around us, the clothes that we are wearing, and even our own body is made up of matter. There are many certain non-living things around us: book, pen, chair, table, whatever you see around us in your surroundings. All the things are made up of matter, and all of them are occupying some space and they are having some mass also. Some of you may be thinking about the air. Air is also an example of matter. You can relate it to a balloon. When the balloon is filled of air, then what is happening? The balloon is occupying more space and also the mass is increasing. Why is it happening? That is because of the air that is present there. That is why air also is an example of matter. Now another definition that is important. These definitions you have to remember, you have to underline in your book and you will learn. So the space anything occupies is called as volume. The second important definition is what is volume. So whatever space any object or any substance in our surroundings, even our own body, it acquires, that is called as the volume. If any substance needs some less space, then it means it is having less volume comparatively to a larger object. Example is given here. The space a football occupies is greater than the space a tennis ball occupies. Football is bigger, tennis ball is smaller. So according to that, we can say the volume of football is greater than that of the tennis ball. So that is the second definition is volume. It is the space anything occupies. Next one is about mass. What is this mass? Mass is the amount of matter. How much matter is present in any substance. The amount of matter anything contains, it is called as mass, and the mass will increase as per the matter quantity is increasing. If more matter is there in any substance, it will have more mass, and vice versa. So that is how we can relate it. So that is all about this. We will now continue just the main points we are seeing. Next important one is states of matter. There are three different states of matter. First is solid, then second is liquid, and the third one is gaseous state of matter. First, second, and third. So these are the three states. Remember these three states of matter, and all these three states of matter can easily change from one form to another. What is it called as? The conversion or the changing of the state of matter from one form to another. Here it is given. So this change of state of matter from one to another is called as interconversion of the state. This definition is very important. So this is interconversion of state. For example, solid changes to liquid or liquid changes to gas. Opposite also, gas changes to liquid or liquid changes to solid. All these changes are called as interconversion of state. So that word or this term interconversion of a state you will remember. Next we will come to there only. So states of matter 3 are there. The change is called as interconversion of states of matter, and this interconversion of state of matter or change of state of matter from one to another will take place on heating or cooling, that is change in temperature. Whenever heated, we will take the example of ice, that is a solid. Solid changes into liquid, that is water. So ice changes to water on heating. Also water, when we heat, then what will happen? It will change into water vapor. So again we can say, so the liquid, that is water, it has changed into gas on heating. So that is change is coming when we are heating, we are increasing the temperature. Opposite also will happen when we decrease the temperature on being cooled, then opposite change will happen water vapor, that we can say the gaseous form changes into water, that is liquid form. And this liquid, if we are cooling, water will change into ice, that means liquid changes back to solid. So on decreasing temperature, opposite changes can come, or we can say interconversion of state of matter can take place in both the sides, on heating as well as on cooling. So why there are three different states of matter, solid, liquid and gas, three states of matter are there. Why there is a difference in the state of matter? What is the reason? So the simple reason is given here. So the matter is made up of small particles, and these particles are called as molecules. All the matter whatever is around us is made up of small particles which are called as molecules, and these molecules are having some space between them. This space between the molecules which are present in the matter, it is called as intermolecular space. And all these molecules which are present in the matter, they are also having some force of attraction, which is called as intermolecular force of attraction or cohesion. Both these terms or definition you will mark in the book. First is there is some space between the molecules, it is called intermolecular space. Second one, the molecules are held together by force of attraction called intermolecular force or cohesion. So both the terms intermolecular space and intermolecular force or cohesion you will learn. Third one, this line is rather important. So matter is made up of which particles? This will be this the term you have to learn. It is made up of molecules. All the molecules have some space between them called intermolecular space. All the molecules have some force of attraction which is called as intermolecular force. Another name of intermolecular force is cohesion. Now this space and the force, intermolecular space and force, is having one relation between them. If less space is there, we can say more force of attraction is there. The smaller the space, the closer are the molecules to each other, and as a result what will be happening? Greater will be the cohesion. So more attraction will lead to molecules to come closer to each other. If more attraction or more cohesion is there, molecule come close to each other. That is, you can say, in the case of solid, maximum cohesion or attraction between the particles is there. As a result, all the particles or molecules come closer to each other and they are tightly packed. That is happening in the case of solid. All the molecules are very close to each other, all of them are tightly packed. But in the case of gas, what is happening? In the case of gas, the molecules are very far away from each other and there is a large space between the molecules. Why is this large space is there? Because of less attraction. Very less force of attraction is there. As a result, very large space is there. So we can say more space is there due to less attraction. The opposite also we can say, if less attraction is there, the greater is the intermolecular space. Just now I told you about the gas. So that is all about the intermolecular force and the state. Now this pattern of arrangement is given here. You can mark and learn from here. The intermolecular space is minimum in what? It is minimum in solid state. Molecules are very close to each other. So space is minimum in solid state, followed by liquid state, and the last one, the largest space, maximum space is available in a gaseous state. So in the solid, molecules are very tightly packed, they are very close to each other. Liquid, little bit some space will be there, and in the gas, maximum space will be there. So that is the ascending form of intermolecular space is told here. Second one is the molecules are tightly packed or tightly held in solid state, so maximum attraction is there in solid, followed by liquid, and last is minimum attraction is there in gaseous state. So that is all. Here you can see this diagram arrangement. This diagram is about the state of matter, arrangement of molecules. So molecules are tightly packed, as you can see in the solid, all the molecules are tightly packed. Second, liquid, little bit space is there, and last one, that is in the case of the gas, all the molecules are free from each other, so maximum space is available there. Now there are some physical properties that we will learn here. about the solid, liquid and gases. First is shape and volume. If we see the shape and volume, then solid molecules are not moving. All of them are tightly packed here. So as a result, what we can say? We can say that a solid will have fixed shape, fixed volume. Its shape and volume does not change. So because of fixed shape and fixed volume, we can say solids are very hard objects. All the solid objects are hard because of the fixed shape and fixed volume. And why the shape is fixed? Because the molecules are tightly packed. As you can see in the arrangement of the molecules, there is no space for the molecules to move. Because the molecules cannot move, it is very hard. The object of the solid object will become very hard. Next is liquid. Liquid will have a fixed volume. What is volume? That we have seen in the earlier part, in the beginning of the chapter. It is the amount of space that is occupied. So liquid volume will remain fixed, but it can take any shape. Whatever shape you put the liquid in, whatever container shape is there, the liquid will take that shape. You take some water in a particular glass, so liquid will take the shape of the glass. Same water you put in a bowl, the water will take the shape of the bowl. So according to the object, water will change its shape. So we can say liquid is having fixed volume but no fixed shape. Why is it happening? It is due to some less force of attraction. Force of attraction or intermolecular force is relatively less in liquid as compared to the solids. So little bit what can happen, the molecules can slip over one another and they can change the shape of the liquid. Next is the gaseous substance. So gas, obviously it is not having any fixed volume or fixed shape. Nothing is there. No fixed volume and no fixed shape. Any shape or any volume can be of the gas. Means gas can take any space. If you spray a perfume in the corner of the room, that perfume smell you can observe in full room after some time. Why is it happening? Because the molecules of that gas, perfume is a gas, so the molecules will spread all over the room. So that is actually what is happening, that gas or that perfume has occupied a large area of the room. That is why you can smell it all over the room. So we can say gas is not having a fixed volume. It depends on the container in which the gas is present. Second is, it is not having fixed shape, obviously because of the minimum force of attraction. So the reason also is given here. The intermolecular force is very weak and molecules are free to move. Because the molecules are free to move, they will not have a fixed volume and also they will not have a fixed shape. So no fixed volume, no fixed shape in the case of gas. Next property is about compressibility. Can we compress the solid, liquid or gas? So that is also related to intermolecular space. If more space is available, then we can compress it. Compressing means what? We are, suppose this is a container containing gas molecule. Now larger space is there, and if we are pressing it from upwards, then what will happen? All these molecules will be coming closer to each other because lot of space is there, so the molecules can shift downwards because from upwards pressure is coming downward. We are pressing downwards, so because of this pressure the gas molecules can shrink closer to each other. This is called compressibility, and this compressibility is maximum in gases. Compressibility is maximum in gases because in gases maximum space is available. Whatever the space is available, according to that only compressibility will be there. So we can say here solid is practically non-compressible. Solid already space is not there. Where the molecules will go? We are taking a solid object and we are pressing it. So solid, you can see in the molecule arrangement, no space is there. If you are pressing from upwards also, where the molecules will shift, already they are tightly packed, there is no space for them to move. So that is why solid are practically non-compressible. Liquid can be compressed to very little extent. Little bit they can be done because some space is there. Molecule can shrink or they can adjust a little bit. But in the case of gas, they are very much compressible. You would have heard the term CNG, that is compressed natural gas. So that is compressed one. So the molecules are compressed. In that process only the natural gas is compressed one. So that is CNG. Also the next property now here is fluidity. can they flow or not? So solids obviously do not flow. None of the solid objects is flowing. The reason is same thing here. Solid molecules are tightly packed and the molecules cannot move from one place to another. Because they cannot move from one place to another, solids do not flow, but liquids and gases can flow. Molecules are little bit free compared to compared to solid. Liquid and gases molecules can move. So that is why we can say liquids and gases can flow, and because liquid and gases can flow, they are called as fluids. Liquid is a fluid and gas also is a fluid. This you will remember here. It is, yes, here it is given. The liquid and gases are called fluids, and whenever the liquid and gases are flowing, this you will remember always they will flow from which side to which side. That is from high pressure zone to a low pressure zone. What is high pressure or low pressure? High pressure means where the molecules are more, and low pressure means where the molecules are less. For example, two cylinders are there, and in one cylinder gas is filled, another cylinder is empty. So gas will flow from the filled cylinder to the empty cylinder. It will not happen opposite way. It cannot happen. So why is it happening? Because in the gas cylinder where the gas is present, high pressure is there. High pressure means more molecules of gas are there. High pressure zone is there, and in the other container which is empty, low pressure is there of that gas. Air will be there in the empty one. So low pressure is there. So always the gas will flow from the high pressure zone to the low pressure zone. Next, last property here is thermal action. Thermal means heating. So on heating, any object is expanding. It is increasing the volume. It is taking more space on heating. That is thermal expansion. And this thermal expansion is done on what? On heating only. Let us see this thermal expansion. So solid, if we are heating, then thermal expansion is possible. Solid object can increase in size. So but if we see in the solid, liquid and gases, it is very small. Solid thermal expansion is very small. Liquid little bit larger is there, and maximum thermal expansion is in the case of the gases. Gases expand to a large extent on heating. So if we write an ascending order of thermal expansion, then minimum is in solid, followed by liquid, followed by gas. Gases are having maximum thermal expansion. Solids are having minimum thermal expansion. Why? What is the reason? The reason is again similar only. Due to minimum force of attraction, molecules in gas can expand very much, but due to maximum force of attraction, a very large force of attraction is in the case of solid, molecules are not moving very much due to high force of attraction. Even on heating they are not moving. So there are certain activities that already in the class have been explained. We will not repeat that. So certain activities are given, you can read through and you have to learn. This is a part of question answers also. Then this definition already I told about the interconversion of the state of matter, the change of state from one form to another. Let us see some interconversions. First one is solid to liquid. Whenever we are heating, solid will change into a particular liquid, but it will not happen at any temperature. On a fixed temperature only it will happen. A particular temperature is there when the solid will change into liquid. What is that temperature called as? That temperature is called as the melting point. Here it is given, the definition you will mark. The temperature at which a solid melts is called as the melting point. For example, ice will melt at what temperature? At 0 degrees Celsius. As the temperature comes to 0, water will start forming from the ice. When the temperature is less than 0, if we say -1, then ice will remain ice only, it will remain solid. But as the temperature approaches to 0 degrees Celsius, ice will start converting into water. It will start melting. That is a fixed temperature at which it is happening. So other temperatures are also given. That these all are the melting points for different substances. So different objects or different substances have different melting points. And what is this melting point? Definition you will learn. It is a fixed temperature at which the solid is melting. So that process of changing of the solid into liquid, what it is called as, that is melting of solid. It happens at a fixed temperature called as the melting point. what actually is happening in solid to liquid conversion. When the solid is heated, what will happen? The molecules will start vibrating. Molecules vibrate on their fixed position. Molecules cannot move, they are not having space to move. So molecules in the solid will start vibrating. Instead of moving, they will start vibrating due to lack of space. Now even if, after the vibrating, even if the heating is continued, that means what will happen on heating? What the molecules are getting? They are getting energy. Heating is a type of energy. Heat energy is absorbed by the molecules. They start vibrating, and slowly what will happen? They will start vibrating with greater energy, and and gradually what will happen? The energy or the heat energy, when it is continued to supply, then the molecules which are vibrating, they will overcome the force of attraction or the cohesion in the solid, and they will start moving. Then that is given here. As a result, the molecules become labile. Labile means they are free. They start moving then, and solid will ultimately melt down. Solid meltdown means solid will change into a liquid. So that is on heating only it is happening. Opposite process, liquid to solid, also is given here. So liquid will change into solid on what? That will also take place at a particular temperature, which is called as the freezing point. Solid change to liquid at the temperature called melting point, and liquid change to solid at the temperature called freezing point. This process is called as freezing. Freezing point is also equal to the melting point. Always remember, freezing point of a particular liquid is same as the melting point of that solid. For example, if we see of the water only, water change to ice. Water changes to ice. At what temperature it happens? Water change to ice at 0 degrees Celsius. And opposite change now, ice change to water. Ice also changes to water. That also is happening at 0 degrees Celsius. So that means what? Freezing of water into ice, freezing point of water is 0 degrees Celsius. Melting of ice is also done at 0 degrees Celsius. So we can say the freezing point is equal to melting point. Both the things are equal. Freezing point and melting point is same for a particular substance. So that is all about this changes. How this change is coming, here it is mentioned. So when the liquid is cooled, what will happen? On heating, molecule was getting energy, but on cooling, molecule will lose energy. Means molecule energy will reduce. As the molecules energy will reduce, what will happen? The molecules will come closer to each other. When the molecule come close to each other, what happens? Force of attraction, that is cohesion, will increase, and the liquid will solidify. That means liquid changes to solid. Next, now we will continue to the liquid gas interconversion. So liquid changes to gas, that is also on heating. The similar concept will come here. The process of change of liquid to gas is called as boiling, and boiling will happen at a particular temperature, that is called as boiling point. Boiling point, for example, for water change to water vapor at the boiling point of 100 degrees Celsius. So that is liquid to gas interconversion. At the boiling point only, liquid changes to particular gaseous form. On heating, what will happen here in liquid? When we are heating the liquid, the molecules will get energy and they will start moving away. Now they will not vibrate like in solid. In the liquid, the molecules will start moving because they are having space to move. As a result, because the molecules are moving away, what will happen? The force of attraction which is there, the intermolecular force, will become weak, and because this force is becoming weak, what will happen? The molecule changes to gas and molecules are free to move. So different melting points are given here. Further, you can do the reading of this. The opposite changes, that is from the gas to liquid. So whenever the gaseous substance is cooled, for example, if you take water vapor and cool it down, what will happen? It changes to water again. So that process is called what? The change of the gas to water on cooling is called as condensation. Condensation of gas, or another term is called as liquefaction. Condensation or liquefaction is same thing. That is when the gaseous state changes to liquid state on cooling. Similar concept of condensation is explained here. How the condensation take place? On cooling it is taking place. So when the cooling is done, energy is reduced. Here you can see when the molecules are cooled down, they become less energetic. Energy reduces. Because the energy reduces, they will come closer to each other. Molecules are coming close. That means the space between them is reducing. As the space is reducing, what happens? The force will increase. Both the things I explained earlier. When the space, intermolecular space reduces, force of attraction increases. So molecules come close, force of attraction increase, and gas will change into liquid. This process is condensation. This condensation takes place at which temperature? This is taking place also at a particular temperature that is also generally equal to the boiling point only. You can say below the boiling point. As the temperature is slightly less than the boiling point, condensation will start. So that is all about this interconversion state of matter. We have seen there is generally some confusion between vapors and gases. What are the differences between them? Most of all time, don't confuse. Both are not the different things. Vapor and gas, both of them are same thing only. Both are in the gaseous state. Vapors are also gaseous state. Gas also is gaseous state. But why these two terms are used? So that is explained here. For the substances which are normally in the gaseous form, like hydrogen is a gas. Hydrogen never becomes solid or liquid. It is always a gas. Oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, all these are always gas only. So the substances which are normally existing in the gaseous state, they are called gases. Always they are in the gaseous form. They never change into solid or any liquid. So any substance which always remains in gaseous form, it is called as gas. Second thing, the substance which ordinarily exists in solid or liquid form, normally that substance will not be in gas form. That substance will be either solid or it will be liquid. But when we are heating that solid or liquid, it changes into gas. That substance we will call as vapors. So that is the basic difference. The substance that normally remains as gaseous is called as gas. The substance that normally remains as solid or liquid is called as vapors. Vapors example you can take like water. Water gas we are not saying. We are saying water vapor. Why we are saying water vapor? Because water normally remains in liquid state. Normally water is not a gas. So any substance which normally remains in solid form or liquid form, when it changes to gaseous state, it is called vapor. It is not called gas. Examples already I told, like water. Another example is given for sulfur. Sulfur also, when we are heating, it changes into sulfur vapors. It changes into gaseous state. They are called sulfur vapor. Water changes to water vapor. There are certain solids which when we are heating, they also change into a gas. Solids directly change into gas. They do not change into liquid. This process of solid vaporizing without melting. Melting will not take place, and solid directly changing to gas. This process is called as sublimation. The substances which show sublimation, they are called as sublimates. There are certain examples of sublimates. Here you can see one example is naphthalene. Second example is camphor. Next is iodine, and one more is there, ammonium chloride, and H4Cl is ammonium chloride. So these four examples you have to learn: naphthalene, camphor, iodine, ammonium chloride. All these are the examples of the substances which show sublimation. These are the substances which we can also say as they are sublimates. They are changing from solid to gas or vapors, and vapors to solid back again. So these are some examples. Definition already I told. The last part of this chapter is about matter is composed of what is called as elements. And what is an element? It is the smallest substance in the matter which cannot be split or broken into smaller parts by any chemical reaction. It is called as an element. Anything which cannot be broken or split. For example, hydrogen. Hydrogen is an element. It cannot be broken into smaller parts. Some more examples are given here. How the elements are written, that is also you have to learn this thing. That is, it is shown in the or represented in the form of symbols. Like hydrogen symbol is H, nitrogen is N, oxygen O. Likewise, certain symbols are given. Next Next is when two or more elements combine together, then what is formed? A compound is formed. Compound is a combination of different elements, and because it is chemically combined, elements are chemically combining, we can say a compound can split into elements. We can break a compound into smaller elements. It is possible, but element cannot be broken. So both the definition you have to learn. First is about the element, some examples you have to learn, then how the elements are represented. This line is rather important, you have to remember this. Elements are shown in the form of symbols, then the definition of compound is given, that you have to remember. Some examples of compound, like water is a compound. We can break the water into two elements, hydrogen, oxygen. Another example of a compound is carbon dioxide. It can break down into carbon and oxygen. That are two elements. After elements and compound, next topic is about atoms and molecules. If we see what is this element comprising of, element cannot be broken into smaller substances, but this element is made up of small particles, and these small particles are called as atoms. Atom cannot be divided further. Atom is the smallest particle that is present in an element. Different atoms are present in an element. So that is the definition you have to learn. Atom is the smallest part of the element that take parts in chemical reaction, and atom will not remain independent. Atoms alone cannot remain alone. Different atoms will always combine together, and when the atoms combine together, what is formed is called as a molecule. So we can say atoms are not able to be independent, but a molecule is capable of independent existence. Independent means it can remain on its own. Molecules can be free. For example, hydrogen atom cannot remain independent, but H2, that is a molecule, hydrogen molecule, yes, it can remain independent, it can remain alone. So that is the difference between molecule and a particular atom. So definition of molecule also you have to remember. What is the molecule? It is the smallest part of element, but it is capable of independent existence. It can remain independent. So that is all about this chapter. This point already I told. Atoms combine to form a molecule. Rather, we have seen all this reading part only. You can do that. We have seen the main points only. The last point is, or the last topic is given here. What holds together the atom and molecule? Now atoms are present in the element, and atoms combine to form molecules. So there are certain type of forces of attraction which are holding these atoms, or we can say molecules, in the matter. Molecule combine together and matter is formed. So what is that force of attraction that is given here? The force that holds two atoms in a molecule. Single molecule is made up of different atoms, not only two, more than two also can be there. So different atoms in the molecule are joined together by the force. This force is called as chemical bond. Chemical bond definition you have to learn. What is chemical bond? It is a force of attraction by which atoms are joined together in a molecule. Another type of force of attraction is also there, that is intermolecular force. As we have already seen in the chapter, that between the molecules, what is there? Between the molecules, intermolecular force is there. So two type of forces are there between the different atoms. Atoms are joined together by chemical bond, and between the molecules are joined together by intermolecular force of attraction or cohesion. So always remember, don't confuse here. Chemical bond is between atoms, and intermolecular force is between, or cohesion or cohesive force is between the molecules. Now which force is better? Chemical bond is strong or intermolecular force is strong? So always chemical bond is much stronger than the intermolecular force. That is the force of attraction between the atoms. Chemical bond, it is very strong as compared to the force of attraction that is between the molecules. So that is all about this chapter. We have seen the important points. There are certain points to remember also. You can read through questions. You can expect many questions from internal can be there in the unit test. So all these points you have seen. The chapter revision explanation is now almost over. We will now wind up this session and do prepare your unit test nicely and attempt all the questions. That is all for the day. Thank you.